our second guest here who is going to come and share as well. Her name is Miss Reagan Campbell. Reagan is going to come. I'm going to let her tell you all about what she's up to, but she is killing the game in the styling and the fashion industry, helping Black women in the workplace really just build up their confidence through their self-image and through empowering them to just show up and get the job, show up and unapologetically say what they need to say, show up in that confidence that we all need, and really that image piece that helps to support that. So without further ado, Reagan, come on up, have a seat. Hey, we gotta do our right. So Reagan, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do for Black women. I mean, I think it is important, and I will be hitting you up for some services myself.
Please do.
But for today, tell us just who you are. For people who are not familiar with you, tell us about what you do professionally and creatively.
Yes. So my name is Reagan. I'm originally from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
After I graduated college in 2018, I decided that Pennsylvania was going to be my home.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was going to a Penn State campus all the way up in Erie. And if you're not familiar where that is, that's by Canada. That wasn't going to work after I graduated. So that's how I
didn't even know Penn State was all the way up there.
They have campuses everywhere.
Okay.
Quick story, when I chose my campus, I thought I was choosing my dorm room. Then I found out that Penn State has campuses all throughout Pennsylvania. So I found out like 2 months before.
Wait, let me back up. You said Canada.
Like it's by Canada.
As in Canada, that's in another country? Canada? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm like, wait, okay.
Across the lake, and it's right, you can see Canada.
Okay.
From Erie, Pennsylvania.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I definitely wanted to be back, somewhere where it's a bit more urban like I'm used to, closer to home without the DC prices. So that's how I got here in Philly. Okay. Now, the styling thing, definitely when I came here, that wasn't on my mind to start. It was definitely a journey getting to that. And I had this idea that me as a woman in business, I had this experience where I wasn't allowed to be myself. My first job when I was in school, I was an intern, and I had 1,001 questions about what I wore, 1,001 questions about my hair. I was the only Black woman in the facility, and it was just super, super uncomfortable. So when I started out with C-Suite Styling, I said, help Black women kind of create their own bubble. Even if you're only Black woman that's in a facility, you just feel so confident within yourself that it doesn't even faze you. And that's kind of where C-Suite Styling began.
I have so much to say. It's to me, and even when we were talking to Marisa, like, it's like, why do Black women, why are we even in this position of needing to, like, having to validate ourselves and, like, create these spaces that just, why is it even a thing? Why does it even exist that as a Black woman I have to go into an organization and experience this, like, feeling of outcast, and about hair and about clothing and about things that is just like, why is it even a conversation? Why do you think it's even a necessary conversation to have as a Black woman in the workplace?
Right. I think what a lot of people forget, when you're a Black woman, you're a double minority. You're a minority as a woman, and you're also a minority because you're Black.
Right.
So one, you get all of the things that, as women, we get already for being in the workplace. And then being Black is also tossed in there with it.
Right.
So with a lot of my clients and a lot of people who reach out to me, even when they are in a higher position, they always feel like they're combating against those two things. It's either I'm a woman or I'm a Black, but most of the time it's like a combination. It's like a combination. So a term that I like to explain to my clients a lot. When you're a woman by itself, someone like your coworker who's a male, he'll say something, everyone listens. But as a woman, you'll say something and no one's listening. But when you're a Black woman, they're not listening to your words, but they're listening to your body language. And that's where that aggressive black woman, stereotype plays into the office. So I have a lot of women who come to me and say, I don't want to come across as the aggressive black woman. So I feel like I always have to put on a show of what I dress, my hair, just so I can make everyone else around me feel comfortable. But at the same time, I don't feel comfortable myself. So, yeah.
Wow. I want to reroute back to that, but I also want to hear from you briefly just about your college experiences and what you studied and what you were up to, and ultimately how that brought you to styling.
Ooh, okay. So I have to unpack. So prior to college, I was always known for what I wore. People identify me all the time for what I decided to be when I came out. Sometimes I'm grunge. Sometimes, even back then, I was business oriented. Sometimes I wore tutus to class. I was very much so just eclectic.
Okay.
Prior to college.
Nice.
Even with my hair. But my parents were very concrete.
Okay.
To them, a job is either in business, a job is in science. Creativity, creatives, as my mom calls them, fairies. You don't make money in that.
Yeah.
That's a hard, lifestyle to try to even start. So I didn't even entertain the idea of doing anything with styling or just being a creative in that way. So when I left high school, my original idea was to be a vet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a long way from home, sis.
Very long way. So I got to college, got accepted in the biology program at Penn State, could not pass not one exam.
Okay.
Not one. And that was kind of like a ding in my head where this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Now, during that time of my life, I was kind of leaning towards business. I always saw the business students on campus. I always wanted to be where they were. So I took an aptitude test, and it scored me over 90% with marketing. Okay. So that's kind of the way I went. Started to do marketing, excelled in marketing. But towards the end of my college years, I was like, and I had an internship in a marketing firm. I really did not want to, a piece of me just didn't want to have that feeling of my creativity that I brought to a marketing firm suppressed. So I knew I didn't want to do it for anyone else. I knew that I wanted to do marketing for myself. So when I graduated, grabbed my degree, got into mortgage, totally different. Was there for like 3 months, literally walked out of that job, cried all the way home, and I was jobless for about 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months, I had absolutely nothing. And I was here with my boyfriend, had to figure out rent, had to figure out my half the bills for 3 to 4 months. And in that time frame, I sat, and I was like, what is it that I really want to do? Because I have, temp agencies calling me about other things in mortgage. I have them calling me about marketing. And I know for a fact, that is not what I want to do. I don't want to be in that space where I feel like I'm being micromanaged. Yeah. So I sat down and I thought about styling. It was something that was in the back of my head. But again, it was suppressed for so many years because in my family, anything within that creative realm is just like, you can't really make any money. So because I was so business oriented, it kind of fell into place to be a business stylist. Wow. And then as a black woman, and me always being able to connect with black women whenever I was in the workplace and other ones were there, it kind of fell into place that I wanted to specifically target black women with styling because that's something that I didn't see. I saw a lot of styling companies. Not a lot of them target black people in general, but especially not black women in business. It was something that I knew that I can kind of fit in and kind of take control because no one else was occupying the space. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. And I think this is a great time just in our culture to, it's always been a good time to protect the black woman, respect the black woman, and love her. Yes. Just want to throw that out there. But, to lift us up, and it's not exclusive to black women, but I think it's so many opportunities to really find your niche right now. Right. Because there's so many problems that need solutions. There's so many things that need to be addressed, and if there's people who have a skill set that they can merge with culture to focus in on uplifting our community, I think that is just everything right now to me. So thank you for all that you're doing in that regard. You said so much, and man, it prompted me to just think about when you were talking about parents and others who look down on the arts or on creative avenues out of fear that you're not going to find that job. I have so many thoughts about that, and I just think this generation is shaking that up. I mean, at a whole other level, it's just like, no, I'm only doing what I care about.
Exactly.
You know, if I got to be out here in the struggle, I'm only doing what I care about. And so it's so much to be said about that. And it's another conversation for another day, because if I go there,
we'll be there for a while.
We'll be here. But just back to what you were sharing. So you went in the mortgage industry, that wasn't for you. You then found you sat down and were like reflective. Even that, it seems like a given, but I think it's a good application moment for a student, for a person who's in this point of frustration. It's like, taking that space to just really get intentional about what you want to do. What do you say to a creative, artist, an entrepreneur who there's a whole list of things that they want to do, can do, feel like they're good at, and it's just all over the place? What allowed you to really get focused and intentional about what you were interested in and what you were going to pursue?
Yeah, so two things: not settling and prioritizing. So if I settled for the mortgage place, which was giving me the money that I needed, gave me more money than I needed, but I just was not happy. And when I left there and I was in that mental space of, okay, I need to get another job, but not that one, not that one, not that one, because I would end up in the same mental space I was before, where I'm here, but I'm not really here.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work, but I'm not passionate about it. I'm just literally sitting here collecting a check, and I'm here wasting time compared to doing something that my time could be, put towards a lot better.
Yeah.
So not settling, and two, prioritizing. When I was able to kind of declutter my mind of all the things that I was, telling myself that I shouldn't do, or telling myself that, I can't do, then I was able to kind of put pieces together. Okay, I can't do this yet, but if I do this first, then I know for a fact I'll get there eventually. So don't settle, prioritize.
Wow. That's good. That's good. So fast forward, you start C-Suite Styling, and just talk a little bit about the journey of like leaving that space of guaranteed paycheck. I know that direct deposit is going to hit every 2 weeks, to now being in a space where you're doing it for yourself. And, what was the transition like for you?
Yes, so when I kind of had a clear mind about C-Suite Styling, I fit a job around it. Because at the end of the day, I had to fund my idea.
Gotcha.
And I still have to pay my half of everything of where I decided to move.
That's a good point, too.
Yep. So instead of looking for a full-time, instead of looking for something that requires so much of my attention, I found part-time. When I was in school, I did Amazon customer service, work from home. It was great. It's something that I know for a fact I can do when I get out of work. That's it. I just close my laptop and I can continue about my day. I don't take work home or anything. So I said, customer service is someone with a degree. It's not favorable, but since I know I have a grand goal and a grand idea, I don't mind finding a part-time doing something like that. So I know that the rest of my day I can dedicate towards my business. And I know that my paychecks will be consistent enough that I can also do that as well. So that was the first thing. I knew for a fact, once I got C-Suite Styling in my mind, that boom, I'm gonna find a job that fits my schedule that I have for my business. And then after that, after I got C-Suite Styling running, it was a real slow beginning. I had a lot of people express how how uncomfortable they were, that I specified that I, kind of direct my businesses towards Black women. I've had people of other races come to me about it, and also other Black women. And I have to explain to them that, no, I don't just dress Black women. But you have to understand that a lot of the stylists that I see, you're not directly saying that you only dress a specific race, but all your pictures, it's showing without you knowing, like you're marketing to people who are coming to you, the type of people that you're dressing and that you attract. So I want people to know that I'm here for them. I'm also here for other people, but yes, I will prioritize my community because it's not being done. I've had people say, well, I think you should, just remove that part from your website or just remove this from your Instagram. I'm like, no, and I'm not pressed for service. So you can find another stylist if you don't like the way that I market my business.
It's so much. I'm like, I want to talk about that. But no, wow. Okay. I think it's so much value to what you're saying, especially in starting. Like initially, sometimes you think you have to compromise on your vision or on your market or compromise on what your conviction is about a particular thing just for the purpose of getting clientele or for the purpose of making money. And I just love that, where it's just like, no, this is what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do anything else, but being very clear and direct and unapologetic about what you're out here doing. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you. And it's important because if I'm helping my clients, be unapologetic within their workspaces,
That part.
I have to be that way myself.
That part.
It's really important. I have to be that way myself. So yeah.
So Marisa talked about how you all met and teamed up and built this collaboration. What prompted you to want to style the fashion, the styling with the hair, the natural hair, and that whole piece? What prompted that for you?
What's crazy is even coming up with that idea. Marisa is very, very extroverted. I'm very, very opposite. I'm introverted. I analyze. I'm a watcher before I do, and that's something I have to flip. With being in my own business, I have to do more than I watch. So for the longest time in my mind, I had this idea of doing something on the Crown Act. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew I wanted to do something. And then meeting her, a natural hairstylist, kind of just had the idea running of, oh my goodness, we serve the same clients. My clients always come to me asking me if I think it's appropriate for them to wear their natural hair. I don't know, but in my opinion, if it's not in your HR handbook, you should do it. Her clients, who are business clients as well, come to her and ask her, okay, so what do you think I should do? I want to go natural. I work in the office. What would you recommend? So it made sense to me if we have similar clients that we collaborate on something together. So that's kind of how we got the ball rolling on the Crown Act itself.
Okay.
Then the whole fashion show, again, not something that I really thought of in the beginning. I thought of like when we were doing webinars, we were speaking, and then Marisa came with this grand idea, and I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot. But, I'm starting to get into the headspace where, because I'm an overthinker. Just say yes. Figure it out later. Just say yes. Don't sit and try to think about all the schematics because half the stuff that happens in the world just be by chance. So I said, okay, we'll make it work. And then from there, we kind of got the pieces together. So after I said yes to the initial idea, then it was, okay, who can we collaborate with that's local, that people can actually go to and shop and find pieces that are similar, dedicated towards business-oriented people, and at the same time show them that they can wear their natural hair and look the part and go to work. So that's that was our idea when we came up with the outfits and the hairstyles, to pair with the outfits.
So I love, you both talk a lot about partnership and collaboration, and that is the essence of the Creatives on Campus program, and our framework is built around partnerships, teaching partnerships, and then modeling partnerships. And it's so essential what you said in the sense of, sometimes we do have these grand ideas and we're trying to figure out the pieces, but the pieces is in the fact that you don't have to be the master at everything. You just have to know how to lock in and connect and partner with the people who do those things.
Exactly.
And bring it all together to exchange that value. So I love that y'all model that, and that what you're doing, it's evident that it pairs well. The fashion show was dope, so I personally got to see firsthand that it turned out wonderfully.
Thank you.
In the middle of a pandemic, y'all was out here doing fashion shows and all kind of stuff. So,
oh my goodness, to this day I really don't know how we did all that. Like you said, within the pandemic, and I would say most of the time I'm one of those people, I do, but I don't think. I just do it. And don't get me wrong, that makes you able to do more, but it keeps you from kind of sitting down and sitting in your accomplishments. It's like, wow, like you said, y'all really did that in the pandemic.
Yeah.
That hasn't crossed my mind a lot.
Yeah.
But you're
it's
right.
Something to be proud of. It's something
Right.
to be proud of. So let's just wrap this in. Let's wrap this whole bring it in, and I want to just connect back ultimately to just see what do you want to share with again, a college student, an adult learner, someone just in transition, someone trying to figure it out, very conflicted with I want to pursue, I want to do, but I don't know if I can make money because that narrative has been put on us for generations. What can you leave them in terms of inspiration or just a point of wisdom?
Yes. So one, again, don't settle. If something isn't setting right with your soul, find something that does.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're like me and like, okay, I still need funding for this idea, I don't have it. Try to make whatever plans you come up with fit around that grand scheme, so you don't get lost in that, you know, that 9 to 5 or whatever that other job would be. Because some people, you know, I need this to fund my idea. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do it for now. But it becomes so time consuming and life just hits them. Just try to find a way that you can fit whatever that is around what your real goal is, so that you don't get lost.
Yes. Thank you for that. Follow you on social media if people are interested in your services, how they can get in touch with you.
Yes. So one, I am at C Sweet Styling, and that's the letter C, SUITE Styling. You can find me on Instagram. My website is csweetstyling.com.
Okay.
I'm finding myself now shifting more into public speaking.
So we'll keep an eye out for that, and just everything else that you have coming up. Keep doing excellent work. Again, I think it's absolutely important, and for myself, it's something that resonates very strongly. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course.